Anticipation is growing for the 2024 Formula One season, but brace yourselves as the FIA has recently introduced some groundbreaking rules. They've added a few surprises. Teams are unable to test their current cars. However, there's a twist to this restriction. Join us in this video to explore the details of the significant changes that promise to reshape the landscape of F1 and add a new dimension to the upcoming season. The 2023 Formula One season in Abu Dhabi has concluded, and attention now turns to the eagerly anticipated start of the 2024 season. Max Verstappen and Red Bull had a strong performance, but McLaren and Ferrari made notable improvements to their cars towards the season's end. In 2024, Alfa Romeo is set to undergo a name change due to the conclusion of their current sponsorship, becoming the Sauber team. Subsequently, in 2026, they will transition into the Audi team. Red Bull's junior team, Alpha Tauri, is also slated for a name change in 2024, aiming to revert to a non-branded name reminiscent of their past as Toro Rosso. Speculation suggests they might adopt the name Racing Bulls. While there may not be many significant changes for the 2024 season, a noteworthy development is the introduction of a new record with 24 races, marking it as the largest year ever for the championship. The excitement is palpable as we approach the commencement of the 2024 F1 season. The 2024 F1 season is set to commence on February 29, promising an extraordinary experience with a record-breaking 24 races, the most ever in a single season. The FIA, serving as the governing body of F1, has strategically organized races across different parts of the world to enhance eco-friendliness. Notably, the Japanese Grand Prix has been shifted from September to April, establishing a distinct Asian section in the calendar. Additionally, the Chinese Grand Prix is making a comeback after a 4-year absence from the F1 list, adding an extra layer of excitement. In the revamped schedule, the Qatar Grand Prix assumes the position of the second-to-last race of the season, addressing concerns about hot weather conditions that drivers encountered in 2023. This change is part of an effort to make the logistics of moving cars and equipment to the final race in Abu Dhabi more manageable. Moving on to pre-season testing, teams will have the opportunity to test their cars in Bahrain from February 21st, just over a week before the official start of the season. During these 3 days, teams will ensure that all systems are functioning flawlessly before the commencement of the first race. Notably, there's a change in testing hours, now from 10 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock in the evening, a shift from last year's schedule that extended until 7:30 in the evening. The adjustment aims to align with environmental considerations and foster sustainability within the series. It's worth highlighting the convenience of both testing and the first race taking place in Bahrain, minimizing the logistical challenges associated with moving cars and equipment. This strategic decision showcases a thoughtful and practical approach by the FIA. Now, let's delve into the upcoming car launch dates. Car launch dates. The unveiling dates for the 2024 F1 season cars have not been revealed yet. In the previous 2023 season, teams showcased their cars between January 31 and February 16th. With pre-season testing set to commence on February 21st, 2 days earlier than the previous year. This scheduling shift might prompt teams to reveal the new vehicles a bit earlier than the preceding season. Regulation changes. For the 2024 F1 season, the FIA has implemented changes in regulations, particularly concerning testing older cars. According to the revised Article 10.2c of the sporting regulations, cars can now only use components and software that have been previously employed in at least one competition or TCC testing of a current car of a championship season. This amendment aims to prevent teams from introducing entirely new components on an old car to gain advantages beyond the restrictions of testing. Primary new rules for F1 2024. PLLI test. The first significant change is the PLLI test. Following Pirelli's request, the upcoming year will witness an increase in the days dedicated to collecting data for tire development, rising from the current 35 to 40 days. in response to drivers' complaints about wet tire issues. An additional 4 test days will be assigned. During these days, teams will exclusively use full wet and intermediate tires to enhance the driving experience in wet conditions. Furthermore, ongoing efforts to improve driver visibility include the development of splash guards. Initial trials at Silverstone in July did not meet expectations, leading to a second attempt in May with a completely new design. Based on feedback, the FIA will decide whether to introduce anti-spray devices in 2025 or potentially delay implementation until 2026 when new regulations are set to take effect. This step aims to address concerns and make informed decisions based on the performance of the updated design. Filming day. Another noteworthy change is the introduction of filming day. Following the car launch phase, teams engage in filming days as part of their promotional activities to unveil their new cars annually. Typically, regulations allow a mileage limit of 100 kilometers during these events. However, starting from 2024, this limit will be doubled. It's essential to note that teams must complete this extended mileage within a single day. Moving on to testing with previous cars, this introduces an exciting innovation for teams. Private tests are permitted during the season, provided they involve cars that are at least 2 years old. In the upcoming year, teams will have the opportunity to use ground effect cars for the first time. This offers a unique chance for young drivers from various academies or third drivers to gain experience with this generation of cars. These testing days provide valuable opportunities for drivers to accumulate kilometers behind the wheel of a Formula One car. In this context, the Federation has introduced a modification. Teams are now mandated to exclusively use material previously introduced in at least one official session of the 2022 test or Grand Prix. This adjustment aims to prevent teams from exploiting these days to test new components, thereby avoiding the generation of data for the development of the 2024 Formula One car. Additionally, apart from these primary new rules, there are other resolutions to be implemented. Firstly, there will be no more Grand Prix with a reduced number of tire sets available. The previous practice of providing 11 sets of tires for the entire weekend instead of the usual 13, which occurred twice in 2023, has been discarded. Complaints from drivers and teams led to the abandonment of the idea of conserving sets that don't contribute to the overall excitement of the race. Additionally, the plan to eliminate heating blankets has been postponed until at least 2026. Meaning the next 2 years will continue with the current practice. A new measure has been introduced in response to the scorching conditions experienced at the Qatar Grand Prix, where cockpits became excessively hot, leading to retirements and medical treatments. Ducting, located in the nose of the car, will now be allowed to open for improved airflow, providing more cooling for pilots in extremely hot situations. Furthermore, there are changes to metal parts on the car's floor, aiming to enhance participant safety. Small adjustments in the financial limit have been implemented to help teams better adapt to the financial constraints that have posed challenges on several occasions. Looking ahead to the 2026 season, a significant decision has been made. The development of the 2026 car cannot commence until the beginning of 2025. This means that physically, the car cannot start production until the year preceding its implementation. Despite existing prototype work on computers using simulators, the hands-on production is delayed to ensure synchronized and well-prepared introduction of the new car. Changes are also being made to Formula One sprint races in the 2024 season. Formula One is considering modifications to the sprint race format, a concept supported by both teams and bosses. While the changes are not finalized, ongoing discussions with the FIA are set to continue into January. Possible alterations include a complete overhaul of the weekend timetable or the introduction of a reverse grid format. In the 2023 season, the 6 sprint weekends already experienced some modifications, notably with the separate qualifying session no longer determining the grid for the Grand Prix. Reserve drivers. There is a proposed overhaul in the format for the 2024 Formula One season, involving the separation of the Grand Prix and qualifying. Teams would operate under parc fermé rules from FP1 onward. Discussions between F1 and the teams are in progress to finalize this format change. One suggestion is to move qualifying for the Grand Prix to the afternoon, with the sprint race taking place in the morning. The sprint shootout qualifying, determining the sprint race grid, would be scheduled for Friday after FP1. If implemented, this change could potentially reopen parc fermé conditions after the sprint race, allowing teams to make necessary adjustments before qualifying. Regarding the 2024 F1 reserve drivers, Formula One teams are beginning to reveal their choices. Some teams are retaining their 2023 reserve drivers, like Red Bull with rookie Liam Lawson and Mercedes with Mick Schumacher. On the other hand, other teams are introducing new faces, with McLaren taking the lead by announcing 2 new reserve drivers. McLaren's lineup for the upcoming season includes Ryo Hirakawa, the winner of this year's 24 Hours of Le Mans, and an IndyCar driver. Share your thoughts on the transformative new rules for F1 in 2024 in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates.